It's time to get this tree decorated, and I'm going to start with adding ribbon. I have 4 rolls of wire edge ribbon, 2 that is 2.5 inches wide and 2 that is 1.5 inches wide. I use wire edge ribbon to help hold it into the tree better, and then I can shape the ribbon a little bit better to kind of flow in different directions. So let's go ahead and get started. I really haven't given much thought how I want to add the ribbon into my tree, so I'm just going to kind of go with it and see how it turns out. I do know that I'm going to have to take a chunk of this ribbon and cut it off. Normally I just throw it on the floor and then work with the ribbon off the floor. But this one, all the Santa Clauses, if I was to do that, all the Santa Clauses would be upside down. So that's why I'm going to have to go ahead and cut it. So I'm going to make a nice long piece just to kind of get myself started. And I have a pipe cleaner that I cut in half, so I'm just going to kind of like, I think actually I want to leave like a little tail. So I think what I'm going to do is dovetail the end of the ribbon and then leave about 2 Santas. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll cut it right at the top of that Santa's head, and then I'll leave 2 Santas, 2 whole Santas on the tail. So I'm just gonna pinch and gather it and then wrap that pipe cleaner around. The pipe cleaner is gonna help me secure the ribbon into the tree. So I think I'm gonna start at the top and work my way down. So I want to put this pipe cleaner deep into the tree. That way it looks like the ribbon is into the tree itself. So since this is a thin tree, what's basically happening is I'm twisting it onto the actual stem of the tree. So now I'm just going to kind of weave it back and forth in here. And kind of pinch, and then I can use the branches of the tree to help secure the ribbon in the tree. I want it to look like it's cascading down. I think I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to add maybe 1 or 2 more ribbons. I think I'm going to add yeah, I'm going to do this one. I think this one I'm just going to go ahead and throw on the floor. And again, I'm going to do a little dovetail. And this one is sparkly, so I'm going to have sparkles all over me. So I think what I'm going to end up doing with this one is just kind of making a little tail. And then bringing up a little section to make a little bow. You know what, I think I'm going to add both of the 1.5 inch. So I'm going to pinch a tail, and then I'm going to bring up, make a little bow or loop. And I'm not going to worry about them being even. I just want a little loop with a tail. Then I'm going to go ahead and add that back up in where the other one was started. So that one I just kind of looped it off to the side a little bit from the first one. And the same with that. But I want it a little bit longer, I think, than the other one. Okay. So now I'm going to go back in with the Santa one and make a loop going the other way. So I'm going to kind of zigzag it down a little bit into the tree. So I'm getting about 2 to 3 Santas in between the loops. Making sure that my ribbon is both facing up. Now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to end the strip here, and I'm going to make a couple big loops with all 3 of these ribbons. So, and leave about that much, yeah, of the tail. I'm going to go ahead and cut these other 2 off here. Then grab another pipe cleaner and cut that in half. Wrap the pipe cleaner around the pinched ribbon, and I'm going to stick that in deep into the tree. Tie it to a branch or something. And then I'm going to pull those apart and dovetail the ends of the ribbons. And then I'm just going to kind of, against my hand, curl that ribbon up a little bit. I got to kind of move the branch a little. So it gives it a little curling effect. Okay, yeah, I like how that looks. So now I think I'm going to come in with the candy cane one and kind of start a little lower and go down a little bit. This one is alright to leave on the spool too, but I'm going to go ahead and start that one with a dovetail as well. And this one I don't think I want a tail. I'm just going to start with a loop. So I'm going to loop it and secure it with the pipe cleaner, and then put the pipe cleaner into the tree and secure it onto a branch. I think what I'm going to do is, so I have that one loop that I already had secure, I think I'm going to go ahead and make another one just a little bit bigger than that one and wrap that pipe cleaner around it as well. And then add that. I think I'm going to go up a little bit higher than I was. Add that into the tree. Then I'm going to kind of pinch, gather and pinch, and then put it in deep into the tree, and then wrap a branch around it. And smooth those edges a little bit. I think I'm going to continue with this candy striped one all the way down the tree, cascading down this side, so kind of weaving back and forth just a little, not a lot, just ever so. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my pipe cleaners to continue to secure, because some of these branches are getting a little thicker in this area, so the pipe cleaners will help hold better. So what I'm doing is just making sure I have my ribbon smooth, and then make a little loop and kind of measure out where I want to go with the ribbon next, and then gather, pinch it, and then wrap the pipe cleaner around tightly. Make sure that's nice and smooth so my ribbon will continue to be smooth all the way down. And then finding a branch in the way back to the trunk of the tree and securing it. Now that I'm at the bottom, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off a little tail. I don't want a long one, just a little bit. So I think this will probably be long enough. And then I am gonna dovetail that as well. So what I do to dovetail is the wire edges together, and then on the ribbon itself, I cut toward the wire to create that little dovetail. And then I'm just gonna kind of give it a little loop and let it hang. So now I'm gonna go ahead and straighten up all of the ribbon to make it look nice and bubbled like, and then go and add more. So I moved on to this side of the tree. I only had one spool of this candy cane ribbon, so I'm only gonna get 2 sections of this ribbon in the tree. And that's fine with me because this is a thin tree, and I'm not gonna decorate the back side of it because it's pushed up against the wall. And then I'll be able to fill in the rest with these 3. So I'm glad I did it like this, the first one, just to kind of give me an idea where I wanted to place these ones. Because then I'm also thinking about how differently I can do these 2, because I can continue doing 3 in a group, or I can do 2 in a group, or 1. So I'm just going to kind of play around. I'm going to finish this and then kind of play around with the rest of it. So as I'm going down a couple of spots, I've been able to see my green pipe cleaner. And what I've been doing is kind of pushing the next little bump of ribbon up a little bit, or I take a branch and kind of pull it over on top of that green pipe cleaner so I can kind of camouflage it. But I can also add bulbs and different ornaments to kind of help hide that as well. I don't think I'm gonna have enough to go all the way down to the bottom of this tree, which is fine. I think though what I'm gonna do is kind of make it so there's a little bit longer of little loops. I have 2 18-inch strips of the 1.5 inch wide ribbons, and what I'm gonna do is just kind of make a little loop. So I've got the one end, I'm gonna loop that back into the other part of the ribbon, and then I'm gonna pinch and gather so it forms a nice loop, and then come in with my pipe cleaner and twist it around. And then I'm gonna pop that in the tree right about here, I think. So use my pipe cleaner to secure this into the tree. Then I'm gonna pull those little loops apart, and the 2 ends, I'm just gonna go ahead and curl them up a little bit so they're kind of falling into the tree. I think though I am gonna cut these ones at a little bit of an angle just to give them a little different look at the ends. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my Santa Claus one and grab a long strip of this and cut it again, because the Santa Clauses are going a different direction if I would just leave it on the floor. Then I'm gonna grab my 1.5 inch ribbons, and I'm gonna stack them on top of the Santa Claus. I'm gonna go ahead and pinch down a little ways to create a tail, wrap my pipe cleaner around it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut a dovetail at the ends of the ribbons. Now I stopped right here with that last one. I think I'm going to come over here down a little ways from where I stopped and secure it onto the branch deep into the tree, and then let the little tails kind of flop out. Loop, kind of see where I want to go next with it and make a loop, and then pinch and gather these, wrap pipe cleaner, and stuff it in deep into the tree. Don't be afraid to step back and kind of look to see if you're liking how it's looking, and if it's not the way you want it to look, go ahead and readjust. Right now I just kind of step back and I'm looking to see if it's going the way that I wanted it to go. I did adjust a little bit. Okay, so I think I want another section of these 3 ribbons over here on the tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the tree a little bit so I can easily reach it. And this one started way up here, so I think I'm going to start it a little bit farther down. I think I'm going to start it right here. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and I want kind of a little bow loop or bow at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and take my ends and loop it back into the long strip, and then I'm going to pull up just a little bit. It's not going to be quite as even as the other one. And then I'm going to kind of pinch these together. So that's going to give me a little bit of a bow. It's not like the same size loops, but it's still cute. It'll look great in the tree. So then once I get these all in, I'll go and fluff my ribbon and kind of pull them apart too. So I think I said I wanted it right about here. Okay, so that one's secure, and then I'm going to go ahead and gather these together. Make another little loop. Go measure where I want it to go. Yeah, right there. Pinch, gather, gather, pinch, and then wrap it with my pipe cleaner. Secure it in there. I almost like the looks of that one, just kind of like hanging and flopping like that. I think I'm going to leave that like that. So then I'm going to pull those apart so you can see all 3 of the ribbons. And then I am going to cut the ends into a dovetail. So the next section that I want in the ribbon to be isn't very long, so I don't have a very long strip of ribbon cut. So I'm just going to go ahead and pinch the ribbon at the top, and then wrap it with my pipe cleaner. And then I'm going to fold that tail end over to help me create my loop. So that's going to go deep into the tree there. Now I could leave these, but since I have the tails over here, I don't think I want to do that, and I have a tail right here. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and right at the end of that strip of ribbon, I'm going to go ahead and add my pipe cleaner and then use that to secure onto a branch. And then spread the ribbon apart and kind of fluff it up a little bit. So this part of the tree is missing a little something. So I do have a pretty good section left. What I'm going to go ahead and do is move the tree back out, because I keep putting it back just to make sure that I'm getting all the areas that I want filled. So I'm going to move that out a little bit. And then just like that last one, I'm just going to take my ends and pinch, gather, pinch, twist a pipe cleaner around the end, and then create a little, kind of have that end flap down a little bit and then go into the tree and secure it onto a branch. So then I'm going to go ahead, make another little loop, kind of bring it up a little bit to make it puff up a little. Okay, so now I'm going to put the tree back so I can check to make sure before I cut this off if I want to cut it off or not. So make sure I have all the areas full of ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move this back out. I'm going to do one more little bubble right here. Secure that in. And then I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut it and then secure it back in. Put the tree back. So this area right here is kind of missing a little something to me, and I have some leftover ribbon strips. So what I'm going to do is just kind of pile them all together on top of each other. These ones, the 1.5 inch ones, are a little bit smaller, so I'm going to wait for those ones until the end. So then I'm just going to fold those back over to each other, onto each other, and then add those 2 1.5 strips, and then just kind of put them together on that, pinch that all together, and then wrap my pipe cleaner around it. Now add that right into the tree, then just pull the loops apart.